Talk to Me is out in theaters, guys, and I gotta tell you, my review for this movie is, well, it was good. I liked about 85% of this film, and it is creepy, and it goes to some really dark places. Talk to Me. When a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand, they become hooked on the new thrill until one of them goes too far and unleashes terrifying supernatural forces. And the standout here is the acting, for sure, from Sophie Wilde is our main actor, and she's the one here that you see here. And yeah, this hand, it gives you a glimpse of the dead, right? And they say, "You're welcome to come in." Like if you've seen Haunting of Bly Manor, where it's like, where they welcome the spirit into the body, it's kind of like that, and they react to it very much like a high of some kind, like they're, you know, on some kind of influence of some, I guess. I hate to say the D word, but that word, right? YouTube doesn't like that word. They react to it like that. So it's like a rush. And we've all played these games before, like the pass out game where you bend over and you breathe like really hard, and then you lean up against the wall, you pass out, kind of thing. We've all done those kinds of games as a kid, right? To see like these little visions that you would get. And they use the talking of the hand, like the hand. So they see these ghosts and these spirits that enter their bodies and gives them glimpses of what kind of traumatic thing happened to them. And they don't explain where the hand came from or how the power works or how this thing all works. It's just this is the scenario and this is how it's playing out. The runtime is really solid for this. It's a quick an hour and 35 minutes, and it goes by really, really fast. So the acting all around was solid. And then there's this one kid, what is it, Riley, Joe Bird. He's the one that you see here. He gets really messed up, right? It's kind of like the ghost comes in to him and it's like a really nasty one, right? And it's like, I'm gonna mess you up. It's just like he gets messed up, man. He gets, oh, it's brutal. He takes the brutality in this movie is shocking. And that's what I appreciate from A24 and these new directors who are, well, they come from YouTube, right? The directors, Danny Philippou and Michael Philippou, they have a YouTube channel, and then they wrote this, I guess, or yeah, one of them, Danny did, right? Very simple project, simple, not too grandiose, easily filmable, and as I said, I liked about 85% of this film because it starts off with such a big bang of kind of like, here's the hand, here's what it can do, and the ghost imagery in it, the spirit energy is creepy. It's like Evil Dead crazy. It's gory, right? And these younger generation of actors here, they do a solid job of selling the atmosphere. Like some of them don't like each other, but they like kind of get along just to experience this thrill ride of what this hand can do. They give a sort of a pseudo background of where the hand came from and stuff, but it's kind of like they don't explore it. They don't show a flashback to it. It's just like, here it is, here's what it can do. But what's more entertaining is not a backstory of that, where the hand came from, but what's it actually doing to the people, right? Because some people are getting these visions when they're not even touching the hand, and that's what the movie explores, right? Do spirits have more of a capability to get a hold of you than just using this little device, kind of thing? Kind of like the Ouija board kind of thing, right? It's going into that kind of mythos, and the movie has a good opening scene to establish that, right? What the power of the hand can do. Now, I said I liked 85% of this because the ending for me, it didn't stick the landing. If it stuck the landing, then I think this would have been a really, really awesome film. But a few things happened towards the end where it's like, no. the mother's kind of like, as I said, that one kid gets really messed up. So uh, she's responsible for it. And the mother's like, I don't want to see you ever again. And then in the next scene, it's like, oh, yeah, you can have some alone time with my son again. It's like, what? No. It's like, it's totally audacious. It wouldn't happen. It's kind of like, no, you were about to call the cops on me, and now it's that kind of stuff, right? And then in the very next scene, you're all chummy again. It's like, no. Maybe there was a few deleted scenes in there that we would have needed to help bring that together, but it's like, there's no, wait a minute, you just heard them say that there's like these weird spirits. Oh yeah, you're just gonna just leave them. And it's like, for God's sakes, man, it's that kind of thing. Now it may work for some people, that may work, but for me, I do look at the story rather critically at times. But for me, I was just kind of, it was just a little too much for me, and it pulled me out. Now, let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying about it. 95 by the critics, 82 by the audience. So the critics are liking it a lot more. Now, as I said, it does open up great, and it's raw. For the first hour, it blows by just like that because you're just hooked into what this thing does, right? To what the hand does. So let's take a look at some of the snapshot reviews and see if we agree. Mark Kermode says, an intelligently entertaining chiller that packs a crowd-pleasing wallop without succumbing to quiet, loud jump scare cliches. Yeah, jump scares. This movie is more about crafting atmosphere and tone. And they do that really well because they show what the hand can do in different scenarios. Like the first time, you get to see what the spirit looks like, but then other times, you just get to see what the actor's reaction to it is. So it's kind of like you don't get to see what the spirit looks like, but you just see the actor reacting to it, and that helps you use your own mind to, what are they seeing? Why are they talking like that? It's kind of like that, and that helps suck you into the movie, and that stuff works brilliantly. It's just, as I said, a few minor things about the story that towards the end, it just kind of like took me out of it. Miranda Otto plays the mother of the one kid who gets messed up. I want to take a look at if there's any bad reviews here. See if we can agree with them. Like, as a horror fan, I can see the value in it. I'm not going to tell you that this was a bad film. It did stick with me a little bit though, right? Thinking about it. So Pop Culture Planet didn't like it. They said, I'm not a big fan of movies that try to get to be too gratuitous just to freak you out. The last third of this movie is where the story got interesting. Oh, really? So they liked the ending where it started to fall apart for me. But then it ends abruptly. There's plot holes that you're trying to piece together that aren't fully explored. So they addressed a little bit about the plot holes there, a little bit there. Not really plot holes, but just nonsensical stuff, right? Todd Cinema Log says, despite a magnetic performance by Wilde, it doesn't amount to much more than a genre exercise in gore and gimmicks. So that's a surface level critique. Maybe his is a little bit more nuanced. Even after the credits roll, this is a picture that will stick with you. Yeah, it's still stuck with me. I've thought about this. Says Movie John. Much like the haunting presences the characters encounter in this tale. Yeah, I wanted to see if we could find Perry. I hope Perry Nemiroff is on here. I wanted to see what she said because I do respect her opinions about these things. I know she did like a review for it a while ago, and I may just glance over it here while I'm looking for her. But it's a movie where it seems like it's going to be set up for a franchise. And it's fine that it's done that because it's not leaving like on a cliffhanger or anything like that. It resolves its story, but it's kind of like the Smile Monster, right? It's kind of like, well, you thwarted it once, but it's still there. The hand power is still going to be there. Matt Donato there. A nasty possession film for the TikTok generation. Oh yeah, the phones. Uh, there's a there's a jab at people who use their phones too much in this, and now there's Perry, top critic there. Let's see what she said. A stellar feature debut from Danny and Michael Philippou, who that features an A-plus ensemble of rising stars navigating a wildly chilling and catchy core concept. Well, yeah, and that's one of the ingredients of what my five factors were of story. Um, to give you a story point, you needed to have an interesting premise, and this definitely has an interesting premise with the hand, right? The hand that gives you these visions of these spirits and what it does to you, kind of thing. And that's a very interesting premise, and it doesn't delve too long into character backgrounds and stuff. Well, she goes to school or she hangs out with his family. Here's a big 10-minute backstory sequence to fill you in with that. No, they just quickly tell you in like one sentence. So it relies on us movie fans to use our brains for a little bit to fill in some stuff, and I appreciated that. Oh yeah, the dog. Apparently, this dog smelled. I felt bad for the dog because they'd be like, "Ooh, that's an ugly dog." What? That? Yeah, she was like, "Oh, that's an ugly dog." It's like, for God's sakes, let's be nice here. Um, yeah. Um, I think I'll have to say that I overall like Talk to Me, despite my critique there of it kind of like not sticking the landing. Now, it's not a 9.5 for me. 8 even seems a little bit generous. I would have to give it a 7.5. A 7.5 for Talk to Me. Is it one of the better horror movies of the year? It's going to be in the top 5 because, as I said, that opening, the opening half of the movie is just like, wow, keep that tone. Keep that tone. And maybe it's because these are new time directors. Uh, they you can over toil sometimes in the editing bay, and maybe that's what happened here a little bit. I can't postulate it, but it's not a movie that I hate. I wouldn't, if I said that I was going to give it an 8 out of 10, I wouldn't lose sleep over that either. It's just, it's got those story issues towards the end that will work for some. It doesn't quite work for me, but it's definitely worth the look if you're a horror fan, and if you're curious about the people that were involved with this project, for sure. So there you go, guys. My review for Haunted Mansion is also up on the channel right now. Go check that out as well if you like this. And we do movie news live throughout the week. So 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, we'll be here with some movie news topics. Did you guys see this movie? Let me know if you did. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Mirror Domains. All right, let's take some live comments about this. And then we'll talk a little bit about spoilers. Siren says, I want an Asian film festival. I saw 40 movies in 14 days. Oh, wow. Wow. Siren 90 says, hey, y'all. Your following is growing, y'all. I just wanted to give you some kudos. You're awesome. Oh, thank you, Siren 90. Thank you. That means a lot. Hey, Talk to Me looks solid, especially coming out during the studio strike, a testament to his substantive art and talent. Yeah. Well, the acting in Talk to Me is definitely one of the standout points. It's just towards the end, you get a little bit of those horrific, the horror tropes of like, I can't be in the room right now because I know that something bad is going to happen, and the script needs me out of the room. That's the kind of thing that happens towards the end of this film, where it's kind of like, but you wouldn't in real life leave the room, and then you especially wouldn't leave it with the person that you feel was responsible for getting your son in as bad shape as he was. You wouldn't do that, but that's the kind of thing that happens. Arglass Viking says, talk to me, not bad for YouTube content creators, letting the big boys know they are new kids on the block. Yeah. And they're not the only ones that have started out on YouTube. Chris Stockman has a horror film coming out soon too, right? He's working on that one. Because horror is such a versatile genre. People just think, oh, it's scary. But no, there's different types of genres, subgenres within horror that make it very versatile. Is it one that has jump scares? Is it one like this, Talk to Me, where it's all about setting mood and tone? And is it graphic? Yeah, oh yeah. This is like if you thought that scene in Hereditary where the kid gets his head decapitated, it's like that kind of gore, right? It's that kind of shock value. And that makes it worthwhile watching. Seriously, the budget for Talk to Me is insane. Good luck to them. What is the budget for Talk to Me? Let me just see if I can pull that up. We'll take a look at that tomorrow as well. Talk to Me budget. It's probably really, yeah. Oh yeah. See, again, that's awesome. 4.5 for Talk to Me. That's like, that's what we need to see more of. Like, I would rather see a bunch of these smaller films for this kind of budget being put out in the theater than like the big grandiose haunted mansions that cost 150 million to make, right? Um, Now, Talk to Me. Well, it made 10 million on its opening weekend. It didn't crack the top 5, but it made 10 million. That's good for it. Internationally, it doesn't look like it's got an international release yet, but this one too is going to be sticking with you because there's some story notes in there that come well earned. Uh, that's a good way to say it, and it has to do with our main character Mia, um, right? And the Sophie Wilde portrays it perfectly. Like you'll know in the first couple of scenes, she can bring it. She can bring it as an actress, right? And it's cool that the directors went to bat for her. They went to bat and said, no, we want this actress for this role, and she proves why in the first 5 minutes of seeing her. You know why she's there. She's awesome. Miranda Otto plays the mother. I don't know who she is. Who's that actress? If Is it Sarah Brokenshaw? Is that her? No, I don't know. Maybe it is. Marcus Johnson plays the father. Yeah, Zoe Tarak is dead. That Haley. There we go. Okay. Yeah, they did fine. I don't know what the pronouns are for them, but fine. And yeah, uh, they did great. So there you go, guys. There's my quick reviews. I'll cut those out and put them up on the channel later. Let's just go over to the Twitter sphere, I guess, and